just grab your boots and dance around. A little mud never hurt a soul. It's how we grow, yeah, it's how we roll.
The sun's hiding, but it ain't gone. Keep your heart turned on, turned on.
Keep smiling, keep shining when the storm tries to steal your song. Keep smiling, keep climbing till the dark clouds that don't belong. Oh, misery won't stay where joy is strong. Oh, misery won't stay where joy is strong.
Creeping, saying you can't win.
Just shout louder, drown them out again. Turn the doubts into your fire. Every stumble builds something higher. When shadows linger, light your spark. Don't let them pull you into the dark. Keep smiling, keep shining when the storm tries to steal your song. Keep smiling, keep climbing till the dark clouds that don't belong. Oh, misery won't stay where joy is strong. Oh, misery won't stay where joy is strong.
Stupid people should wear signs, neon bright, so we can find a way to dodge their tangled mess. Avoid their chaos more, say less. Wear a sign, wear a sign. Save me from your twisted life. Politicians dance and spin, blatant lies with a practiced grin. Blame the moon, blame the stars, blame the traffic or faulty cars. You think they're 6, not 35, playing games to stay.
Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Wear a sign, folks. Stupid people should be wearing signs. It'd make life a lot simpler. Oh my goodness, did I ever hear some funny comedians earlier tonight when I was watching some YouTube coverage. Where is that at? My goodness, it was so funny. I was laughing, busting a gut. This is Quinn Dale, I think the guy's name was. Oh, he is so funny. That's what it was. Quinn Dale. Oh, my goodness. Woo! It all started with comedians destroying hecklers on stage. Man, oh, man. It's just some good stuff. That guy's funny. Good evening. I like to play it, but I want to get a copyright claim. It's pretty good, funny. Celovox is the channel with about 34,000 subscribers, and they've got a lot of views, and there's 500,000 for these comedians. Don't know how they get to use their video footage and not get in trouble, but yeah, man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Hey, for those who tuned in earlier, we're struggling with YouTube to get somewhere. It wasn't my channel. It was YouTube. YouTube experienced a global meltdown for people who pay to watch YouTube TV. In other words, cable channels, stuff like that. They couldn't watch it. YouTube was all horked up several hours ago. About 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here, I received messages from people around the United States who couldn't watch my news broadcast. Jenny Tate, thank you for your subscription. Couldn't watch the Common Sense Conservatives on YouTube. It wasn't working. I was able to broadcast fine, and many people were able to watch it, but a lot of people couldn't see or hear anything. It was all messed up. It was a YouTube meltdown, folks. It had nothing to do with my channel. It wasn't shadow banning. Nothing to do with me. It's simply YouTube. Yeah, they're making the Chinese mad. That's what happened. Oh, it's still melting. Okay, well, man, that explains a lot of stuff. But welcome. It's 11:07 Eastern Standard Time. Wow, I didn't do anything. The Chinese clock behind me caught up with the real time. What happened there? I haven't adjusted my clock, and oh, no, it's 11:08, so I'm a minute behind. I just changed. I knew something wasn't right, but it's pretty close. And it's 5 a.m. in South Africa, and we have about 70 people. We had 72 watching a moment ago, so thanks. It's a glitch in the Matrix. Did you see that? Right there. Amazon Web Services are in a minute. Well, maybe it's a global meltdown. I ordered Eric Trump's book a while ago. I went through fine on Amazon, but Amazon Web Services is not Amazon's commercial website. It's the one that gives the cloud services and the servers that people pay a fortune for. That's where the real money is in Amazon these days. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to folks all over the world. Pleasure to have you join me again tonight. Yes, keep smiling. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Carpe diem, seize the day. Life goes by so fast. You should enjoy each and every moment you possibly can, folks. Boy, was I knackered. I took about an hour nap, and wow, I needed it. Alex, in from Ohio. Tomorrow morning, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have some more refugees here if you're in the East Coast of the United States. Tomorrow afternoon. Well, it's today for those in South Africa, but tomorrow for the rest of us here on this side of the world. I'll have 2 more refugees coming on the program. They will be coming in from Florida. They'll be coming in from Florida tomorrow, and they'll be here under pseudonyms. So, yep, you can check that out on the channel. I've already posted that link for tomorrow's refugee conversation to talk about their experiences coming over here. Yebo, that's definitely happening tomorrow. We're excited about that. So let me just check something here very quickly. Come on, computer. Faster. Don't get slow just because you're old. Yeah, wait a second. Didn't I post that? Wait, what's going on here? I'm confused. I thought I posted that. I did post it. So why is it not here? Oh, because that's the wrong spot. Silly boy. I don't save those there. I save them over here. Boy. Senior moments creeping in there. No wonder I can't find it. It's the wrong drive. There's rugby broadcast. Where are the interviews? Come on, they're usually together. There we go. All right, now we're tracking. This one has 357 interview markers in it. Okay, so it will be Tian and Renee. Yep, I just had to remember what the pseudonyms were. I picked for them. Tian and Renee will be with me tomorrow morning. We'll be talking about their experiences as refugees here in Florida. And I will have, I believe, another refugee on Friday. Let me take a look. Did they write back to me? Okay. All right. Well, cool beans. I will also have on Friday at the same time, at 10 o'clock, 4 p.m. South Africa time, another refugee in America. Ooh, they just keep coming. Yes. And they can quit putting quotes around the refugees. Yep. Pineapple for you, sir. Experiment. It's true. To clear my throat. Maybe I should stop drinking these things. It seems to be some correlation. Peter Talliard, welcome to you. Light Rain, CB, excuse me. And Nikki, enjoyed your Wednesday with the Colonels. Yeah, John and I had a good time, just the two of us. Yep. It's not the Matrix, it's the Chinese pissed at Trump. Probably. Probably. Well, they're the ones who put a glitch in the Matrix. Gordon von Rensburg, Freya Menzel, Gina Mullman, Willem Hart. What's going on, man? Momo, Ines Grove, welcome to you. Sean Leslie. That's not fair. You have two names. Sean Leslie. Johan Barnard, AJ Quinn. You know, I can't even say that Leslie's a lady's name because men have it. You know, Leslie Nielsen was a dude. Yep. Peter Smith's been a member for 8 months. Thank you so much for that. That corresponds with the refugee time. Is that when you joined us? Yes. JJ Pretorius. No way. No way. Are you the Blitzbach legend? Oh, that's JC Pretorius. Sorry. Del Marie Mozart, welcome to you. Mandy van Rooyen, Fonz. Hey, Fonz, what's going on, man? What are your Sharks going to do this weekend? Peanut in a packet. Anna Kruger, Gordon van Rensburg, Renier van Rensburg, Karen Graham, El Marie, Kenneth Stridham, Miss Grow. Okay, that sounds like somebody from the prepper community, Miss Grow. And CB already said. And then who else we got there? Anna Kruger, Mr. Echo. And I think that's everybody, unless someone's jumped in and snuck in on me there. JJ Pretorius laughing. Not exactly the Blitzbach legend. Sorry, that's JC Pretorius. The crack in those who do tend to hit the throat hard. Huh? Shawnee. Welcome, Shawnee. And it's Leilu Dallas Multipass. God, I love that movie. Corbin Dallas. Corbin, why don't you call your mother? Good to hear from you, Ma. Corbin Dallas. What I really like about that movie is when the creatures come and they get locked in the temple in Egypt, and the priest is there. Aziz, lights! Aziz, lights! And then the aliens turn on their big torches. And I guess, that's better. I love it. It's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, the African Union has suspended Madagascar. Woo! That's really going to accomplish a whole lot. Congratulations. They're going to lose their cool about in country. Hold on to your white hat. Well, Nikki, I have said that from the very outset, from the very beginning. Nothing has changed. That's one reason why people don't... What's with the camera? Is it just me or is my camera acting funny? I can't see my shirt clearly. Oh, it's just me. It's just me. These letters are coming up crooked in my eyes. I'm just tired. That's why some people don't like me. They don't like what I have to say, so they go and disparage me and lie about me and slander me and put stuff in their pathetic little WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups and play their games. They're also not going to like several other things about the refugee program, but I've said it all along. I said that politely in that video. I was clear, I was honest, I was upfront. Now, some people are attacking Professor G, saying that he's one of the people that said, to overstay the visa. I don't recall him ever saying that, so I would never claim that he did. There were several people, and have been several people in groups telling South Africans to just stay here. Don't go back. And telling them to apply for asylum when, there's a snowball's chance of hell they're going to get it. So you're just setting these people up for horrible misery. It's a shame. Fonz is looking forward to the refugee interviews. I'm looking forward to seeing the Sharks win a game. Sorry, Fonz. I couldn't resist. No, Nikki, I never said that to my knowledge, but people, and I made a video, so some people, I guess, assumed that I was talking about him. I was not talking about him, and I never said his name. I said, some of the people I won't name because then they'll just make stupid videos. It's just silly. But we know who these people are who ran around and told people this nonsense, including some of them being Afrikaners, some of them being Americans. Anyway. You run a huge risk by simply doing that. Never, no, you hope so too, Fonz. Okay. Never, ever overstay your visa somewhere. I didn't even overstay my visa. And look at the butt pain that I went through, the rectal bleeding that I had to go through when a immigration official wrote the wrong date in my passport by hand instead of putting the 90 days in there. And then I was told I'd overstayed my visa and I was going to be banned from South Africa for 5 years. That's utter bullshit. I get 90 days unless there's a reason to only give me one shorter, and there wasn't. Thankfully, one of my viewers, who I was able to link up with, courtesy of everyone responding to my crisis in early 2023, I was able to get that sorted out. And thankfully, that passport expired now, so it's not even a passport anymore, so I don't even see it. Thank goodness. That was a mess. I remember when I left South Africa or came back and went something, I see that you had a problem here. I said, yeah, well, it wasn't me. It was administrative. He goes, oh, no, I see that, but I don't like drawing attention to it. So that passport is expired and gone, and now it's all sorted out. But what a mess. And they're just brutal. They have this petty power as bureaucrats, and they love it. It cost me 6,000 Rand in the end, and a lot of heartache and lost time in Botswana. I didn't even get to enjoy Botswana. I went there, gave my speech, stayed with a couple of South Africans when I was in Gaborone and at Pakalani, and then pretty much had to get out of Dodge. I didn't get to go around and see any of my own haunts, or anything like that. It was kind of sucked. Ruined my trip up there. Hey, George, what's going on? Yeah, overstaying visa is a bad idea. It is a bad idea. It doesn't work out. Hopefully the Florida folks have got some manatee stories. They're cute, but they're all scratched up because of power boats, and their blades go by and cut them up. It's really horrible. People with their boats. Anyway, the manatees are pretty cool creatures. Yep. All good here today. Oh, that's good to hear, man. It's good to hear. So anyway, let's talk about what's going on. The African Union has suspended the Madagascar government after a military coup there. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, 18 months ago or so, I was offered a job there. It might have been less than that. They offered me a job there, paying $200,000 a year. Do the math on that. About 4 million plus Rand, almost 4 million Rand a year. And I turned it down to stay with you all. In part. The other part of it, too, is that I didn't want to commit to a year in Madagascar. I was willing to do 6 months. They couldn't do that because they had to have someone contractually for 1 year. And they wanted me for 2 years minimum. They were pushing for me to stay for 2. And I'm not willing to go for 2 years. And as it turns out, it would have been exciting. I'd be right in the middle of a coup right now. But that job didn't come with diplomatic status, didn't come with a diplomatic passport, didn't come with force protection measures, didn't come with anything. It'd basically be like I'm working in Madagascar for the State Department on a contract, but I'm basically a tourist with my blue passport. And so when the crap hits the fan, I'm no different than any other American tourist hanging out there. And I'm there executing foreign policy on behalf of the United States government, and they would have left me hanging out to dry. Not a picture I liked. You can live in Florida without a boat. In fact, I would argue you can't live in Florida. It's the toilet bowl drain of North America. Not a bad call, Nikki. Not a bad call at all. Very much would have been confined to Antananarivo. There's nowhere to go, nothing to see. Poverty, typhoons coming in all the time. Yeah. Just want to live with bad water and stale seafood. Well, Arctic, that might be part of it. Why does my screen keep updating? What are you doing, micro crap, in the background? What is going on here? My background keeps refreshing. That never happens. Something weird is going on here. Or is the power fluctuating? Could be the flower. Is Escom our provider now? Could somebody check and see if Escom is my provider? Another broken country. Yeah, I would be the only American tour. No, Americans are like Germans. They go everywhere, man. They pick all the dumb spots. They go everywhere. Yep. They go everywhere. But, in retrospect, I mean, I like being in the action. It would have been kind of cool to be in the middle of the coup. I missed the coup in Guinea back in 2008. I was in Guinea in Conakry about a month to the day before the coup occurred. It's kind of, it's like I go places a month before the big events happen. I was in San Francisco in 1989, exactly 1 month to the day prior to the massive earthquake there. Yep. I was in Guinea in Conakry 1 month to the day before there was a coup in 2008. Yeah. My timing is always. I arrive early. Did you anticipate the problem in Madagascar? Yeah, okay, Light Rain, I didn't share that. Yes, that did affect my decision. But the real driving factor of that is that I would go with the trouble, provided I was under the aegis of the American embassy. But the U.S. government was going to hire me to go there, and then just I'm out on my own. They didn't provide force protection. They didn't give me access to. Well, I would have had access to the embassy. That's true, but it would have been as a visitor. But I still would have had a badge because I had to go there and do business. But I should have had an embassy badge. And I correctly anticipated that it was going to be miserable. I had to find my own apartment, my own security, all that stuff, my own vehicle. None of that would have been provided by the American embassy, and it's just not a pretty picture. Knowing the situation in Madagascar, also it's an island, so it's not like I can just walk away. If something goes up in Lesotho, I can cross the border from Maseru back into South Africa, where it's a little less dangerous. Or I can, if I'm in Pretoria, I can hit the N4 and head on up to Gaborone. Just don't drive through the Maracana area at night, and I'd be safe. But in Madagascar, there's nowhere to go. I don't have a boat. There's no cruise liner to take me out of there. It's only planes. So I did. That was a factor. But the deciding factor was doing this, which is funny. I only had at the time it was about 12,000 subscribers when I did it. 12,000 subscribers. That's 10 times as large now, almost 120,000. And it was also, I didn't want to give, I mean, you know, I'm 59 again. I don't want to go some crap hole for 2 years. I'll go for 6 months. I even consider a year, but that's really pushing it. I mean, if they offer me a job to go be the defense advisor in Barbados for a year, I might do that for a year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, after all, Herschel Walker would be the ambassador. That's kind of cool. Vikings Weight Buster, thank you for your subscription, and Marley Quinn for your membership. Have friends that stay in Florida East. Tough, but they're happy, okay? No, Madagascar. Madagascar is part of the Southern African region. It's part of SADC, but it's got an ocean in between y'all. Freya. Just grab an extra bandolier. Well, I'd have to have weapons for that bandolier, and you know I can't take them. So, yeah, too many issues. It is hectic. Another one they wanted to offer me was in where else did they want me to defense advisor? It wasn't in Uganda. It was in Botswana. Yeah, they wanted to offer me Botswana at one point, but that one, the timing wasn't right. I wasn't out of the army yet, so couldn't do that one. By the time I got out, someone else had got it, and then never came back to my attention. So yeah, folks, do you realize that the nonsensical judgments are taking place? The Canadian attorney Viva Fry, who's become quite famous, still not really sure why. He's interesting, but anyway, he glommed onto the Canadian truckers thing a few years ago, and it's been incredibly successful for him. He was lucky. Anyway, he really needs a shave and a haircut. So do I. But Viva Fry was on Alex Jones' InfoWars. I caught that because, I didn't realize that the survivors of the Armenian genocide, it went to the U.S. government, and they went to court, and they wanted $3 billion in reparations for the hundreds of thousands of people who are killed. It's a lot of money. When you look at what Alex Jones was hit with, $1.4 billion, it's just absolutely ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. So what Trump was hit with, absolutely ludicrous. They're using the courts and circumventing jury trials to award judgments not based on fact. The fact the Supreme Court did not look at this excessive judgment today is a bit disturbing. It leaves open the window to use lawfare to punish your political opponents. It's sad. It really is. Glad you know about ESCOM. They steal all the money. Peter, you must be new to the channel. You must be new to the channel. The military of Barbados, a tactical golf cart with an RPG and a bottle of rum. Correct, Light Rain. That's why I'd be happily do it. You're chilling out on the beach. It's a shame I don't smoke in my house. Not a shame. I'm glad I don't smoke in my house. But I have 2 cigars, which Billy Painter gave to me, and I haven't had a chance to enjoy them yet. I don't have a cigar cutter, but I could just get a little sharp knife, cut the end off. I was going to smoke one of them outside the Veterans Organization smoking area last week, but there was nobody there when I arrived at 12:30 in the morning. Anthony Michael Funsfield. Okay. Does that mean you're out of here? Thanks for popping in. Madagascar, Delmarie, Madagascar, they do speak French, but that's one of the official languages, but they speak local languages too. What was that? Did something just pop up? Linda Fundin, I just gave a 35 Rand super chat and I don't hear it or see it. Why is it not showing up? Are my alerts turned off? Hello. I would have sworn they were on just a moment ago. Is YouTube playing not nice? Alert box is turned on. That should come up. Dougie Ray. Zelda Stander. Sean Velkomond. All right, so let's get back to this, ladies and gentlemen. Why is my page not updated? Hello? Come on, McFly. Oh, there we go. That's better. That's better. Okay, now I just want to get back to my studio. Where are you hiding? There's the studio. Okay, cool. Maybe I said it wrong. The program is stopped and flights are... people are... What's this? Okay, I'm not sure what you're getting at. Are you talking about the refugee resettlement program from South Africa? The program has not stopped. The program has not stopped. Please do not say that. That is fake news. The program continues. Each and every day, we have people coming into the chat, either night hours during the daytime, telling us how they'd received a message, how they received a case number, how they're being interviewed today, tomorrow. I know somebody being interviewed Friday. The program has not stopped. The people who are being funded from RSC and Africa, Amerikaners are being funded from money that goes beyond the fiscal year. Therefore, they're able to execute. The money that I'm working off of for my consulting gig at the Army War College is also multi-year awarded. It isn't paid until later. It sits in, like an escrow until it's paid. But I'm working next week at the U.S. Army War College all week, unless they change their mind, because no one's there. They're all furloughed. But I have to go in and execute my responsibilities in the contract, and I will be paid by the vendor. And then, so that's different. The program has not stopped. What has stopped is that there are no U.S. officials who are not furloughed who are available to handle your processing safely through the airport on a plane to America, arrival in America, reception here, and then onward movement to turn over to refugee assistance officers from an NGO. That cannot be done. Not to mention, a lot of the people in PRM and UCIS are furloughed. They're not working. So they can't process your cases beyond a certain point. But rest assured, the program continues. Yes, there are flights every day, but the flights have nothing to do with the refugee program. They're commercial. Delta, United fly planes in and out of South Africa every day to make money. So that's not going to stop. That has nothing to do with the U.S. government. Does that make sense, Anna Kruger? Okay. East of the state of Florida is the Atlantic Ocean. Lots of interviews. Yep. Okay, that's what you meant. Yeah, okay. Well, from what you wrote, it wasn't clear to me what you were trying to get at. I didn't want people to misunderstand. Again, back to the news, folks. Even though it's the night owls, we chat about things. The guy's taking my old fridge, bent the hinges on the gate and opened a slight gap in the top. My cat was halfway up the gate trying to open it. Yeah, don't give a cat an angle. Their bodies are so flexible. Their bones can move every which way. They're like quadruple jointed. They're just amazing. Cats are one of the nature's most amazing creatures. I still have a DVD from cats. It was made by like Discovery Channel like 25 years ago. And I still love watching it. They are just amazing creatures. They're a pain in the ass, but they're amazing creatures. All right, back to the news. The African Union has suspended Madagascar after the coup and all its institutions with immediate effect. Colonel Michael Ranrianrina led the military intervention, which followed the National Assembly's vote to remove the president amidst escalating protests. So is it really a coup if the National Assembly voted to remove him? Look at this. There he is in 2009 when he was popular. He's not so popular now. Latest episode marks a troubling repeat of Madagascar's 2009 political crisis when the AU also suspended the country after that guy in opposition then rose to power through a military-backed takeover. So the military put him in office, the military removed him. Coups on the rise across Africa. Well, as I've always said, CQ, coups, chaos, and corruption. Yep. The Broadway musical, what are you talking about? The owner of Savannah is now Heineken, and they're laying off employees. More layoffs, more jobs lost at South Africa. Shocker, no? Dutch brewer Heineken said Tuesday would cut or reassign 400 jobs as part of a major reorganization of its Amsterdam head office to take advantage of new techniques. Oh, there's not in South Africa. That's a misleading headline. No jobs lost in South Africa. Fake news. Fake news. Let's stop it. Okay, they're losing jobs in Amsterdam. Whatever. That was very misleading. Not even South African news. The United States revoked Notaboloy's visa for his posting comments that celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk. One of 6 visas revoked by the Department of State. The United States Department of State has revoked the visa of South African music executive. He's an executive now? I thought he was a producer. Nota Baloy. The action comes after Baloy posted in support of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Baloy believes he was targeted and the department's response is in the form of censorship. It's not censorship. Censorship would have been if they had colluded with the Twitter and forced your channel to be closed or forced your tweet to be removed. That's not happened. You can leave your comments up on Twitter. That's your personal choice. You chose to remove it. You censored yourself. I don't know if he said anything about that article, but he is the guy that said white women are genetically inferior and white people are subhuman because they have Neanderthal DNA and that white people should be driven into the sea. Well, just joking on that last point, he said. Not really. He said other people say that, not me, but very controversial, said racist things. And for that, the South African Captured Human Rights Commission forced him to give a lukewarm, half-hearted apology, which, according to Nota, they wrote. And he joked about it, reading it on air, like it was a big joke. The harm he did to people and the callous environment that he helped establish. That's who that guy is. Reedy Talibi should be next, says Arctic. Lucky Strike was also making a COVID vaccine. What? Well, ladies and gentlemen, Professor G, Evan Gelopta, from, I said that not for con style, but it's Evan Gelopta. Evan Gelopta, who is a practicing attorney, does asylum law, and a university professor. Has been publishing videos for several months now. He often looks at my videos and compliments me and raises issues that I raises issues that I may have overlooked. Professor G, as he goes by, published a video, and in that video he said there were changes to the refugee information page on the embassy website. I don't know if that's true. He said there's 2 more additional things. Maybe it was updated in a different format, but I don't recall. I was trying to find a screen capture from it earlier because I have them. I just couldn't find them from earlier in the year when they posted the changes. Each time they put something new on there, I had a screen capture. I used it for videos, but I couldn't find them, so I just went ahead and said that the date had not been changed because the date was from September 8th. So they may have updated the embassy website for refugees, but they left the date as September 8th. But the 2 things in question are right here, these 2 bullets down here about who qualifies. And the first one says you have to be 18 years of age, which is what I've said from the very beginning. If you're 18 or older, you file a statement of interest. If you're part of a household, your parents can file a statement of interest and include you on it, but you need to file your own statement of interest. And then the second one is you must be living inside South Africa. The program does not anticipate any out-of-country processing of South African nationals. And I've dealt with a lot of people who are angry. How come I just can't go to the embassy in Dublin? Because you're not in South Africa. We're not giving refuge to South Africans living outside South Africa. You have safe haven. And I received, pleas from South Africans living in squalor in Ireland who are upset that they're being treated unfairly and poorly there. And I don't know what to tell you. I have empathy for you, but you made decisions which have made you ineligible. Those were your choices, not mine. You shouldn't be mad. Hey, Vanna Kutz, what's going on? Odin's Vikings back. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Nota Beloy. Arctic, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood where you're going with that. Philip Morris is also testing an immunization based on a virus-like particle grown in a close. That's strange. That's really strange. Ooh, jeez. Let me check on something. I got logged out of all my accounts. Let me see if I'm back in some of these. There we go. Let's see if I'm logged in or not. Log in. Won't let me in. I don't want to go paperless. You're just trying to save money, you cheap bastards. Okay, I'm just looking to see. So I'm just looking because someone mentioned something that's interesting to me. I need to go back to it. Okay. All right. So someone mentioned Philip Morris. Well, in the full disclosure, I do have a small number of shares in the Altria Group, which was from Philip Morris. Yep. They were spun off. Yep. It's been a very good holding for me. Very good holding for me. Yep. And what account is that in? Which account that's in? Anyway. Yeah. Well, my JetBlue account is not looking good right now. What's going on there? The car account sucks. That one never went well. But everything else looks pretty good. Starbucks, looking good. Southwest Airlines, looking good. Okay, who else got there? Yeah, everything else is pretty much up. Yeah, that's good. GE Aerospace, wow. GE turned out to be a turd, but GE Aerospace has done well. Charles Schwab, I even have a few shares in Charles Schwab, and they've done well. And Richemont, boy, Richemont is up to $20.05 a share. I should have bought tons more. Anyway, yeah, I don't spend enough time looking at my investments. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. So which account's which one? Let's look at this one here. That one has a little bit of cash in it. Not a lot, just a little bit of cash. Can I buy something? Let me see. Wow, that's looking pretty good. Well, that's where the Philip Morris is at. Okay. We'll see when there's a few turds in here. Anyway, that's enough of that. So, I do want to see one more thing on this, folks. Let me take a look. Oh, come on, show me all my accounts. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Here we go. Cool beans. All right. That answers those questions. Nancy's done a great job turning most South Africans' brains into victim mentality. True. Yes, Conrad, I reported that earlier on the radio program that India has agreed to stop buying oil, which is fantastic. India, 2021 timeframe, bought approximately $1 billion a year in petroleum from Russia. 2022, $24 billion, roughly. 2023, $48 billion. 2024, $54 billion, and even more this year. So from 1 to 55 billion in annual oil sales. They're keeping Russia afloat, and China as well. Modi was being a stubborn ass, and then Trump slapped massive tariffs on India, and now they've capitulated. They've come to kiss the ring. They've come to kiss Trump's ring, and so India will stop buying oil, or so they claim. We will observe that. If they think we can't watch it, they're crazy. South Africa needs USA and Euro business. South African gives them flack, but allow Chinese. Yep, you're right about that. Hey, Rita, what's going on? I understand why people complain a country can decide to give you a visa or not, their discretion. Well, but the principle of freedom of movement, Sumari, I get that. Countries shouldn't willy-nilly just block people from traveling. For instance, the United Kingdom is now demanding visas from several other countries they never required visas from who are part of the Commonwealth, which betrays the trust in the Commonwealth. But I understand the basis for the United Kingdom doing it. They're getting economic migrants and fake asylum seekers from southern African countries, and they said enough is enough. So I think recently, it was Botswana, they now demand a visa from everyone from Botswana traveling to the UK, which wasn't the case before. So, yeah, I get it. But revoking visas or denying visas, if it's capricious, it's not legitimate. I do agree with the principle that humans should be move about freely, but they must comply with the laws and mores and norms of the country they enter. There's no reason not to allow people to enter. So I have no objection to Nota Bloy coming to America. I also have no objection to what he said. I find it repulsive, but that's his free speech. But I don't disagree with the consequences of what he did. So does that make sense? She went to lunch. Oh, she works night shift. Stop looking at my dollars in your couch and look at your own money. Companies in torpedo industry will see significant growth as well. Why is that? Funny how everybody hates the U.S. and Trump gets upset if their visa gets canceled or they get deported. Huh? I don't understand, JJ. I have my own Pala Pala. I wish I had my own Pala Pala. We haven't kicked out the we haven't kicked out the H-1B visa holders. That's not true. There's still 800,000 or so of them here, if not more. China is the most significant existential threat to global security and economic freedom. Yep, China is. No doubt about it, ladies and gentlemen. No doubt about it. Anyway. Trump confirms that he has unleashed the Central Intelligence Agency on Venezuela for covert operations because the New York Times, once again stealing classified information, released the fact that the CIA was doing covert operations in Venezuela, which forced Trump's hand. He had to say that he authorized that. So, U.S. President Donald Trump confirmed he had authorized covert operations inside Venezuela. The New York Times originally reported the operations in a report citing unnamed U.S. officials. The administration accused Maduro of leading a narco state facilitating the flow of drugs in the U.S. Yep. So, anyway, once again, in August of this year, the United States doubled to $50 million its reward for information leading to Maduro's arrest and conviction on drug trafficking charges. The bounty was originally set at $15 million in 2020. Yes, so the New York Times once again betrays the national security interest and the safety and security of Americans. It is a slimy publication that thinks that it's its right to steal classified information and expose people to danger. How doomed France is. France will survive because of tourism, but France is not a healthy place. Nothing in your couch. Found a Hot Pocket. No, just kidding. Uncomfortable with governments taking action based on words. I agree, Freya. I think we agree on that. I think that was clear in my video. If it wasn't, that should be clear to people that I don't necessarily cheer what happened to Nota Bloy. But I'm also not critical of the government because his speech was beyond the pale and unnecessary. It was gratuitous. He tries to claim that it wasn't, but that's simply not the case. Simply not the case. Nota does things for attention, and he got the attention he was looking for. Pats, I wonder how dim France is. Oh, you're the one who said that, yeah. It can stay afloat, yeah. There's enough residual wealth there and industrial capacity that France can survive. But they're not exactly a shining example of economic growth. Well, the Supreme Court gives the impression that it's going to change the Voting Rights Act of 1965. A federal district court has ordered a second black majority congressional district be created in Louisiana after finding black voters were underrepresented. They're not underrepresented. You see, that's just racist screed. Well, how are black voters underrepresented? Because black people don't represent them? That's horse manure. You see the stupid fallacy of that logic? So let me ask you this question. Since 7% or 8% of the members of parliament in South Africa aren't white or aren't in Eastern Cape, or does that mean you're underrepresented? No. Blacks are overrepresented in our Congress because of racist laws created in 1965 to create districts based on ethnicity. These people are not underrepresented. Do you see the racism of that statement? Must create a second black majority congressional district because black voters are underrepresented. So you're saying that an Asian, a white, a Native American, a Hispanic can't represent a black person? Really? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The bigotry and racism, the soft bigotry of that statement is beyond the pale. Wow. U.S. Supreme Court today seemed likely to limit the use of race-based districting using an oral argument concerning Louisiana's congressional map. At the same time, some justices on the nation's highest court pushed back against the idea of discarding the use of race in drawing electoral districts was necessary constitutional. It's not constitutional, it's racism. The outcome of the high-profile racial gerrymandering case known as Louisiana versus Callis could have an impact on the balance of power in the federal legislative branch. Gerrymandering is the manipulation of electoral districts boundaries to favor a political party or constituency. Currently, Republicans maintain razor-thin majority over Democrats in the House. The legal issue is whether the creation of a second black majority congressional district in the Pelican State violates the 14th and 15th Amendments. The 14th guarantees equal protection. The 15th forbids the federal government and states from interfering with voting rights based on citizens' race. Well, neither one of those applies. In fact, actually, 14th does. The 14th does because there's no equal protection. White voters are being denied representation by creating faux districts where blacks are the majority, if you believe that blacks only vote for blacks and whites only vote for whites. But see, Barack Hussein Obama never would have been president if white people didn't vote for him in overwhelming numbers. There aren't enough black people in this country or people of color in this country for Barack Hussein Obama to have won the election against John McCain or re-election against Mitt Romney. I don't know about any plane crash in Texas, Tom. That's news to me. I know about a plane crash in Howick, but not in Texas. Courts have wrongly held that the Voting Rights Act in certain circumstances allows states to take race into account when drawing electoral boundaries. But electoral maps drawn explicitly based on race are unconstitutional. Well, these are done explicitly for race. They create this, and this article doesn't show the map. Here it is. Here it is. So look at this. Look at these congressional districts. They have nothing in common. In fact, they're nearly clipped off by the narrow base of this. Look at this. Look at that. See the blue? That is a fake district created. Look at the other districts. 1, largely geographically solid. 3, entirely geographically solid. 4, no, bisected by this fake black district created. And 5 makes sense. But look at that. Look at that. Creating a district 2 and 6 to give black voters congressional seats based on the premise that black people vote for black people. That's simply unconstitutional. Look at just above Alexander there. And below Natahuchi, where the district nearly pinches off. And thank you, Vanna von Rad. Leaving to Hauteng. All right, safe journey, Vanna. Be careful. And good luck with your interview. And make sure that if they talk to you about persecution, Vanner, when they talk to you about persecution, point out things like Nota Beloy, point out things like Julius Malema. And when they talk about, well, we don't care about you not having a job. Well, I can't get a job or I lost these contracts because of my skin color. That is persecution. They're driving me into poverty and starvation. All right? You don't have to be shot to be persecuted. Anyway, look at this. This is what they do. This is what they do. And they justify this by saying we need more black representatives in Congress. No, we don't. No, we don't. We need more honest people in Congress. If they're black, great. The people of South Carolina voted Tim Scott in. Most Democrats or most blacks in South Carolina are most black South Africa. Most black South Carolinians are Democrats. But Tim Scott won his race overwhelmingly, even though Republicans are in a minority. Why? Because white people voted for a black man. That's why. Unbelievable. This is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. This is just such a shameful thing. Such a shameful thing. And I hope they strike it down. Strike it down indeed. Okay, there's the Texas. Okay, crash. Okay. Thank you for that. Why is that not showing up over here? Come on. There it is. 2 dead after plane crash in Tarrant County. Continue. Fort Worth Department says, well, you've given me a website that I can't get to because it doesn't work. Anyway, so go to news. Texas plane crash. Ooh, that's pretty horrific there, north of Fort Worth. Okay. This is from a few days ago. I didn't even hear about this. Wow. Oh, stop it. Twin engine plane crash Sunday, killing 2 people. Over 60 personnel helped fight the fire.
New footage released by the Fort Worth Fire Department shows the firefight in action that day. They say at least 10 tractor trailers were damaged
by the plane crash. Wow, must have hit the highway. Wow, look at that. Oof, damn. That's from a plane crash. That's crazy. Yeah, sorry about it. It's not, that caught my attention. That one doesn't work. 2 dead. Okay. Can't run around and assault people just because you have an opinion doesn't make you right. Words have consequences, time and place. Exactly. Marley Quinn, well stated. Charlie's death is not the time or the place. Yep. John LeBray, what's up? White people must stop having and feeling white guilt. I have no guilt, Summary. I've harmed no one. I've helped lots of people of all ethnicities around the world. I've defended people's rights without regard to race, creed, or color, or religious affiliation. I have no guilt whatsoever. None. And people can't guilt me into it with their idiotic arguments. Yep. Correct mechanism to silence distasteful words. Well, that's what I say over and over again, Freya. That's what we do. We ostracize people. We ignore them. They're not part of polite society. Go about your business. Leave us alone. We don't care about you. That's how you handle it. That's how you handle this. Not the nonsense that, using the power of the state to punish people for their words. I've said that all along. That's why I said South Africa is not a free society. It's a cowardly society with a government that's illegitimate because the government censors speech. If you want to say the K word, you should be allowed to say the K word. I won't associate with you. It's foul, it's rude, it's disrespectful, and it shows low intelligence and meanness. But putting a person in prison for it, like Vicky Momberg, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Taking people's livelihood away from them because of that, that's ridiculous. No, I don't think Mark Milley has discovered what white rage is, but I'm sure he has a cushy CEO position in some defense contractor, if not maybe a speaking engagement at an Ivy League school or assistant professorship or positions on multiple boards. Yeah, no, I don't doubt it. General Milley was a disgrace, an absolute disgrace, and a coward, absolute coward. General Milley apologized for being in uniform on the streets of Washington, D.C. He should never apologize for that. Yes, Courtney, it is an Arabic word which means unbeliever. Yep. No, speech is not absolute. People act like, free. My First Amendment, free speech. We have to punish someone from the Veterans Organization because they published something on social media. And the argument is, well, it's on their personal page. It doesn't matter. The public sees it. How do you think I found out about it? I don't go looking for it. I don't know this person's Facebook page. I don't go to Facebook. But when it comes to me as a commander, it's printed out and it's publicly available, and you're slighting and insulting veterans, there are consequences to that. It's their personal page. I don't give a crap if it's your personal page. That's not the point. You put it out in public. You didn't sit in your house and make a statement in private. You put it out in public. Speech is not absolute. There are consequences to it. These people just want to pretend there aren't no consequences. It's ridiculous. Foreign espionage arrests are up 50%. The FBI now, under a real administration, is actually pursuing the criminals who betray this nation. Now, whether they're doing a good job or not is another story, but they are pursuing them, and arrests are up 50%. We've gone after espionage activities against our main counterparts in China, Russia, and Iran, says Kash Patel. In China alone, we've had over a 50% increase in espionage arrests and prosecutions. In Iran, we've had a 50% increase in espionage cases. Russia, a 33% increase in espionage cases. Wow. State Department employee Ashley Tellis, arrested on October 12th, accused of removing classified information and meeting with Chinese regime officials. And he had top secret documents all over his house. In August, 2 Chinese nationals arrested and accused of smuggling sensitive artificial intelligence chips subject to export controls to China. In June, 2 Chinese nationals arrested on charges of spying for Chinese intelligence operations. A former State Department employee, Michael Shano, was arrested in March and sentenced on September 4th for conspiring to collect and transmit national defense information to Chinese authorities. In September, an Armenian national was charged with conspiring to export goods and information that would help with semiconductor manufacturing in Russia. On August 6th, Taylor Adam Lee, an active duty soldier, was arrested and charged of admitting transmission of national defense information to a foreign adversary, Russia. Hey, Marcus Swart, thank you for your subscription. Kash Patel said there were 125 counterterrorism cases this year compared to 100 last year, and the year isn't even over. It's only mid-October. We got 2.5 months left. This year, you already have 52 arrests of violent cyber criminals who are stealing from senior citizens, violating our children's freedoms and rights and freedoms, and are violating everyday Americans. Yep. It's good. Get rid of these scumbags. Get rid of them. Well, are you wondering if Trump is good for America? Well, he's certainly good for capital investment in America. That's for darn sure. Yeah, no, being called Mzungu gets kind of old. That's a racial slur, but no one gets pulled before the South African Capture and Rights Commission for using that word, and it means, yeah, it's terrible. It's horrible. It's a horrible name to call white people, but South Africans get away with it all the time. But they use a different version, which is spelled there by Karen. But Mzungu is used all over Africa, and it's an insult. It's an insult. The eye-popping numbers behind America's investment boom. Artificial intelligence, tax cuts, tariffs, and U.S. consumers are driving a supercharged capital machine. Oh, yeah. Yeah, a supercharged capital machine, folks. Isn't that something? Now, I have that somewhere else. There it is. Got it. This week, world leaders are descending on Washington for the semi-annual meetings of International Monetary Fund and World Bank. Inevitably, many finance chiefs will make noise about tariffs, policy uncertainty, rising debt levels, and job markets threats to artificial intelligence, related to artificial intelligence. All valid concerns. But beneath the headlines, the amount of money flowing through the United States from inside and outside the country is the envy of the world. Though many recent Trump administration policy and economic measures have become partisan issues, the facts are clear. We're experiencing an American investment boom that is substantive, probably durable, and unlike anything the country has experienced in a generation. In the past few months alone, Pfizer has said it will invest $70 billion in United States manufacturing. Jeep owner Stellantis plans to invest $13 billion in U.S. operations. South Korea's Hyundai boosted its spending in the U.S. to $26 billion, and IBM committed $150 billion to advance American innovation. The list goes on, and you should expect it to continue. Skeptics say these are empty calorie promises because they're hard to measure and companies are unaccountable for seeing them to completion. But there's clear evidence and rationale for their substance. The Trump administration deserves plenty of credit. Policies such as the highly controversial tariff program encourage foreign and domestic companies to build plants and manufacture products in the U.S. to avoid paying tariffs when selling to American consumers. When Taiwan Semiconductor's chief executive announced $100 billion in domestic chip manufacturing in March, President Trump, who was in attendance, remarked, "By doing it here, the company has no tariffs." The pharmaceutical industry has made some of the biggest investment announcements because building a factory takes years and most U.S. drugs are imported. The Trump administration has granted tariff exemptions to companies that commit to building drug-making facilities in America. Large drug makers such as GlaxoSmithKline, Eli Lilly, and Merck have announced multi-billion-dollar investments in recent months. New business-friendly tax legislation is also a factor. Companies such as Johnson & Johnson have cited lower corporate taxes and deductions on domestic research and development expenses, as well as expansion of the manufacturing investment tax credit in what Trump called the Big Beautiful Bill. In September, Johnson & Johnson's chief executive officer, Joaquin Duarto, announced an additional $2 billion investment in its North Carolina facility, on top of a previously announced $55 billion that it committed to the U.S. operations for the next 4 years. With the recent signing of the One Big Beautiful Bill, we continue to expand our investment in the U.S. to lead the next era of healthcare. Beyond the political wins, there are solid economic reasons for companies to invest in America. We are at the forefront of the next great technology revolution, artificial intelligence. This boom is driven by fast-moving private sector innovation, massive infrastructure spending, and world-leading models and chips. The investment is eye-popping. NVIDIA chief executive Jensen Huang estimated on the company's latest earnings call that between $3 and $4 trillion will be spent on AI infrastructure by the end of this decade. America's AI leadership is poised to continue attracting global investment, driven by our dominant tech giants and the top talent coming out of our universities, not immigrants, our universities. However, the trillions in spending and energy demands required to power these centers may not be sustainable. There's one more reason capital should continue to flow into the United States, the American consumer. We are the world's largest economy with one of the highest per capita gross domestic products, and we love to spend. As Christine Lagarde, president of the European Central Bank, told me a few months ago, the U.S. consumer consumes. In stark contrast to European and Chinese consumers who are more cautious and prone to saving. Even if growth slows or unemployment rises marginally, the U.S. culture of consumption, along with the desire to circumvent tariffs, has foreign companies such as Lego and Honda announcing investments to build new U.S. factories and distribution centers. The economic numbers look pretty good. Jobs data shows near full employment. Inflation looks benign, even amid the tariff worries. GDP is growing, and the stock market is on a roll. But one of the most overlooked data points is a remarkable rise of capital expenditures, which refers to all the investment companies are spending on their businesses. Capital expenditures grew 14.8% in the first half of 2025 compared with the same period in 2024, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis, the biggest non-pandemic gain since 2011. A broader measure of spending, which includes intellectual property such as software and research development, is up 11.9% from the same time frame in 2024. Though the U.S. was attracting global capital last year under President Biden, what we're experiencing now is supercharged. Considering the powerful drivers and Trump administration policies in place, America is uniquely positioned as a destination for capital for years to come. This is in the Washington Post. Yes, it's by Sarah Eisen. That is an incredible op-ed and very accurate. 45 minutes driving through informal settlements. Another normal stressful morning. Can't wait for this to be over. Why in the world would we want to put pharmaceutical factories in Puerto Rico in the path of hurricanes where they'll be destroyed and where the island is chronically mismanaged? 1/3 of it wants independence, 1/3 of it wants to be a colony, 1/3 of it wants to be a state. Why would we put a pharmaceutical plant in Puerto Rico? There's no electricity. They don't maintain their electricity grid. That's a silly idea. Good morning. I'm in Texas. Relinda, welcome to you. Okay, Nikki, take care. That's an awesome op-ed. I like that one. 154 people currently here, just 110 likes. 400 people visited. That should be 400 likes. What's wrong, folks? What am I missing? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Why are we not getting likes? Somebody please tell me what's going on. Santa wants to know. I'm making a list and I'm checking it twice. I'm going to find out who's been naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. It's just a couple months away, folks, and I'll be on my way. And I'll know if you've been naughty or nice. I'll know if you've been good or bad, because I'm making a list and I'm checking it twice. Going to find out who's naughty or nice. You better start putting that like button into play. That's where a bulk was manufactured for tax reasons before China. A bulk? What's a bulk? You know, if you stop drinking Starbucks crack this late at night, you may sleep for more than 2 hours. Are you behind the stick right now, Arctic? Are you in the air? We, the whites, were called by blacks, which translates to white pig. Yeah, it is. Yeah, good Disney people don't say stuff like that. My pleasure. I had lots of Zulu friends growing up, so picked up a language. Catch black, run bus or minibus home with my groceries. I'm now well known as I am the only white. These operators and pastures are friendly. Yeah, well, that's the long run with Armand Müller-Stahl. Is he still alive? I hope he is. I liked Armand Müller-Stahl. I can't remember. I looked it up before. Armand Müller-Stahl is a retired German actor. Yes, he's still alive. 94. He was born in Russia. Yeah. Yep. In 1930. Wow. Armand Müller-Stahl is a retired German actor who appeared in numerous English-language films since the 1980s. He's nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his role in Shine. In 2011, he was awarded the honorary Golden Bear. Born in Tilsit in East Prussia. Wasn't born in Russia, he was born in Prussia. Now, Kaliningrad Oblast. His mother, Edita, was from an upper-class family and became a university professor at Leipzig. His father, Alfred Müller, was a bank teller who changed the family's surname to Müller-Stahl. The rest of the family moved to Berlin while his family fought on the Eastern Front in World War II. He was a concert violinist while he was a teenager and enrolled in East Berlin Acting School in 1952. He was a film and stage actor in East Germany, performing such films as Her Third, Jacob the Liar. For the country's television, he played the main character in popular series Das Unsichtbare Visier from 73-79, a spy thriller program designed in cooperation with the Stasi as a counterpart to James Bond films. After protesting against Wolf Biermann's denaturalization in 1976, he was blacklisted by the government. Immigrating in 1980 to West Germany, he found work in films, and these included Rainer Werner Fassbinder's Lola, Veronika Voss, André Walz's A Love in Germany, Angry Harvest, and the Academy Award-nominated Hungarian-West German film Colonel Riedel, both in 1985, the latter about the scandal surrounding Austro-Hungarian Army Colonel Alfred Riedel. Müller-Stahl played the Soviet general in charge of the occupied United States in 1987 ABC television series America. He made his American feature film debut as Jessica Lange's character father in Music Box in 1989. His performance as a Jewish immigrant in the United States in the 1990 film Avalon was widely praised. He took character roles in Kafka by Steven Soderbergh and Night on Earth by Jim Jarmusch. He won the Silver Bear for Best Actor at the 42nd Berlin International Film Festival in 1992. Nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his performance as the abusive father of pianist David Hefkott in the 1996 film Shine. And it went on. He played Konrad Stronghold in X-Files. Yep. What else? So, one of my favorite actors. I love Armand Müller-Stahl. So many performances. From 1956 onwards. Yep. Blacklisted. Had to get out of East Germany. Yep. I'm trying to find... He did the long run. There it is. 2001 is Bertold Barry Boma. Yep. That's when it was. 2001. Yep. The story of an African farm. That one I don't know. He played Thomas Mann in a miniseries. Interesting. He did Buddenbrooks. Cool. Mission to Mars he was in. But what's the one movie I'm looking for here? He did the movie with... oh, come on. When was that thing on? With George Clooney. The Peacemaker, 1997. He played Dmitry Verdikov. Yep. He was great in that movie. The Long Run is a 2001 film starring Oscar nominee Armand Müller-Stahl as a running coach and Tati Moshesh as a young runner. It was directed by Jon Stewart and written by Johan Potgieter. The film is based around the Comrades Marathon, ultramarathon race run over a distance approximately 90 kilometers between KwaZulu-Natal, Pietermaritzburg, and Durban. Yep. Yeah. And that's it. Not much on the film. It was a great film. I really loved it. 112 minutes. Nati Moesh is 56 now. Wow. She's done a handful of movies. Following the death of fellow actress, she acknowledged the impact of the actress industry. She reported as being one of the first black graduates of performing arts at Technikon Natal. She's aunt to both Lindsay Moesh, van der Blij, and an award-winning motivational speaker, and Moana Moesh, songwriter-singer. Desmond Dubé, born in 1969. Yep. Peacemaker. That was a great movie. Anyway, there you go. Hijacked Santa. Took everything and Brian. What are you talking about, Anton? You're in Puerto Rico? Holden? I didn't know that. Well, the pharmaceutical industry is not in Puerto Rico. The pharmaceutical industry is in New York, Illinois, and other places in America. It's just a small portion is in Puerto Rico. Why not put it there? But again, for the reasons I stated. Not to mention it's physically far. Shipping things from Puerto Rico, it takes time and money. A lot easier to put it on a train or a truck in Schaumburg, Illinois, and ship it all over the country. Let's see. Good morning, Candida Oberholzer. But when you said you often catch the minibus, that reminded me of Amon Mullerstahl's character from The Long Run. That's why I went to The Long Run. The Long Run with Amon Mullerstahl, he was a German who immigrated to South Africa back in the 70s in the movie. And then when the National Party gave up and the ANC took over, he's pushed aside. He's replaced by a black person as the foreman at the brick plant. Then that guy takes over his job as the coach of the ultramarathon team. He's marginalized, he's ostracized, he's pushed aside. And he ran the Comrades once and he failed to finish, or a few times. And so it kind of bothers him. But he's a coach now, and they take his team away from him. So he winds up linking up with a Namibian girl who is a hell of a runner, who speaks German because she grew up in Namibia. And so, but he rides around in the combis with the black folks. And so, anyway. Wonder, he's got a sore hip. He has to stop before he ends up with 2 sore hips. What are you guys talking about? What is going on? My channel's still broadcasting. I'm still talking. What is going on? My channel's still broadcasting. Are you guys like smoking crack cocaine? What is this conversation about my hips and I've been hijacked? What are you guys talking about here? And why are you talking about Puerto Rico? I think that the people commenting in my chat have collectively been taking mushrooms, and you're all suffering from hallucinogenics. There's something going on with you all. I mean, what is it? What is going on in the chat here? You all really have. I mean, it's time for a musical interlude because you need a reboot. You guys need a reboot. I don't know what's going on, but you clearly need a reboot. Honestly, guys, you need a reboot. Something's going on over there. Something's going on. I don't know what's going on.
Justice we stand tall, faith in our hearts, freedom for all. Chris at my side, he's got my back. We move as one, we're on the track. Return of the bugger off bunny, steady and strong. We ain't no dummy, setting the pace, bringing the vibe. Feel the rhythm, join the tribe. Return of the bugger off bunny, steady and strong. We ain't no dummy, setting the pace, bringing the vibe. Feel the rhythm, join the tribe. Return of the bugger off bunny, steady and strong. We ain't no dummy, setting the pace, bringing the vibe. Feel the rhythm, join the tribe. Return of the bugger off bunny, steady and strong. We ain't no dummy, setting the pace, bringing the vibe. Feel the rhythm, join the tribe.
The return of the Bugger Off Bunny brought to you by DJ Silver Eagle. Welcome back, folks. All right, are we back now? Are you guys stopped taking your mushrooms in my chat? I don't know what's going on over there. 5 months, 2 days. Our virtual meeting arrived later today. Thank you, Colonel Wyatt. Anti-Floyd, thank you, 35 Rand. 5 months and 2 days. 5 months. That's 152 days. Roughly. Over 150 days. I have people contacting me saying, oh, I haven't heard from it 2 weeks, 2 months. People, I don't think people understand what 100,000 means. 100,000 statements of interest have to be sifted through. It takes time, folks. Anti-Floyd, congratulations. Thank you for making it rain. Good morning. Missed this song. I see they started gearing up for Comrades. So glad that lady who went missing last year was found. Anyone remember? Yes, I remember Zola Budd. I never understood why she ran barefooted. She's still around. She's in her 60s now, is she? She's 58 or 60, something like that. Zola Budd. I never understood. That didn't seem like a South African name. Zola Budd. There we go. Yep, she is 59. So I was close. She's born in 66. South African middle distance and long distance runner, competed the 84 Olympic Games for Great Britain and 92 Olympic Games for South Africa, both times in the 3,000 meters. In 84, she was unratified. In 85, she broke the world record in the 5,000 meters. She was also a two-time winner of World Cross Country Championships, 85-86, mainly trained and raced barefoot. Her mile best of 4 minutes 17 seconds in 1985 stood as a British record for 38 years until 2023. She returned to South Africa in 1980 and represented South Africa in the 1992 Summer Olympics. She moved with her family to South Carolina in 2008 and competed at the marathons and ultramarathons. She moved back to South Africa in 2020. Yep. She was born in Bloemfontein. Achieved fame in early age 17 when she broke the 5,000 meter world record in a time of 15 minutes and 1 second. Since her performance took place in South Africa, then excluded from national athletics, they didn't recognize it. That's bullshit. Such a shame. In 1985, she claimed the world record officially while representing Great Britain, clocking 14 minutes and 48 seconds. Good for her. Yep. Yep. The Daily Mail persuaded her father to encourage her to apply for registration as a British citizen. Yep. '84. Yeah, we had the famous collision. Yep. Yep. 84 Olympics held in Los Angeles. The media billed the 3,000 meter race as a duel between Budd and world champion Mary Decker of the U.S. However, experts expected Decker's main competition would be Romanian Marcia Puica, who had set the fastest time that year. Decker set a fast pace from the gun with Budd in close pursuit, followed by Puica and Britain's Wendy Sly. When the pace slowed just past midway point, Budd took the lead on the straight and ran wide of the pack around the turn. Setting the pace she took herself, Decker, Sly, and Puica clear of the pack. Running as a group was an unusual situation for Budd and Decker, both of whom were used to running in front and well ahead of other competitors. At 1,700 meters, the first collision occurred. Decker came into contact with one of Budd's legs, knocking Budd slightly off balance. However, both women maintained their close position. 5 strides on at race time, Budd and Decker again made contact with Budd's left foot brushing Decker's thigh, causing Budd to lose her balance and sending her into Decker's path. Decker's spike running shoe came down hard on Budd's ankle just above the heel, drawing blood. Videotapes later examined by Olympic officials showed Budd visibly in pain. However, she maintained equilibrium and kept stride. Decker stepped on Budd. Then shortly after, she collided with the British runner and fell to the curb, injuring her hip. The fall ended her race, and she was carried off the track in tears by her boyfriend and later husband, discus thrower Richard Slaney. Budd, deeply affected by the occurrence, continued to lead for a while, but faded, finishing 7th. Wow. Budd tried to apologize, but Decker was upset and replied, "Don't bother." International Associated Athletics Federation found that she was not responsible for the collision. Decker said many years after the event, "The reason I fell, some people think she tripped me deliberately. I happen to know that it wasn't the case at all. The reason I fell was because I was very inexperienced at running in a pack." She was honest. Yep. Yep. Relocation to the U.S. Following allegations of her husband having an affair, Budd, under her married name, Petersay, and her 3 children relocated to Myrtle Beach in 2008. Her husband joined them later. She had a 2-year visa that allowed her to compete in the U.S. Masters circuit. She raced in South Carolina. In 2012, she announced participation in the 2012 edition of the 90-kilometer Comrades, which was held in 2012. Yep. She also participated in the Two Oceans Marathon Easter weekend. In 2014, she entered the Comrades again, earned a silver medal, 7 hours and 30 minutes, beat her target time. Yep. In March 2015, she won the Run Hard Columbia Marathon in South Carolina. As of July 2020, she's assistant cross-country and girls track coach. In South Africa today, township taxis are nicknamed Zola Bud for their speed. The singer Brenda Fassie, whom Time magazine called the Madonna of the Townships, had hit single in the 1980s with her track Zola Bud. Yep. So, personal best. She's got some incredible ones. Yep, she's a lot of firsts. Yep, congratulations. Zola Bud, she's still around. Apparently she's living in South Africa. That'd be great to interview her. That would be great to interview her. I didn't know there's a street in Bloemfontein after. If anybody knows Zola Bud, I would love to interview her. I'll never forget the whole thing, the Mary Decker thing. Yep. Well, Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding tried to hurt Nancy Kerrigan, and Nancy Kerrigan still got a silver medal. And Tanya Harding is an afterthought. What is she? Last I heard, she was working in a restaurant as a waitress, something like that. Tanya Harding. Okay, Tanya Harding, yep. Never liked her. She is now 54 years of age. Skating career. She finished in 91-92, 4th and 8th in 93-94. Yep. On January 4th, 1994, one day before the U.S. Figure Skating Championships, First Lady Singles Competition, Nancy Kerrigan was attacked in a corridor after a practice session at the Detroit Arena. The aftermath of the attack was recorded on a news camera and broadcast around the world. The assailant was Shane Stant, contracted to break her right knee. He turned himself in the FBI on January 14th. Stant and his uncle, Derek Smith, were hired for this assault by Harding's ex-husband, Jeff Gooley, and her bodyguard. After failing to find Kerrigan in Massachusetts, they had taken a 20-hour bus trip to Detroit. She was walking behind a curtain when Stant rushed behind her. Using both hands, he swung a 21-inch telescopic baton at her right leg, striking above the knee. The attack was intended to seriously injure Kerrigan so that she could not compete in the Nationals. She was a defending national champion, nor the Winter Olympics. Her leg was not broken, but severely bruised, forcing her to withdraw from the championships and forego competing and retain her title. On January 8th, Harding won the U.S. title. She and Kerrigan were then both selected. So, yeah, she won a title because of that. Yep. Guilty plea, sentencing, disciplinary action, guilty plea admissions, response, grand jury indictment. Okay. Later interviews, later career. Yeah, she took on a boxing career at one point. Yep. She had 6 fights. She won 3 times. She lost 3 times. Automobile racing, land speed. She married 42-year-old Joseph Price in 2010 when she was 39. Gave birth to a son named Gordon in 2011. Yes, I don't know what she's doing now. She just disappeared. Tanya Harding. Yep, Nancy Kerrigan. She was beautiful. I really adore her, but she has a look like she wouldn't be beautiful older in life. Yeah, I can see that now. Former American figure skater, won bronze medals, 91 championships, 92 Winter Olympics, silver medals, 92 and the World Olympics, 93 U.S. figure skating championship, until she was smacked in the leg. Yep. Dancing with the Stars. She graduated. She married her agent 1995, year after she retired. Marriage was her first and his third. They have 3 children together. First one born in 96, second 2005. That's a big break in 2008. Wow, so 12 years later. In 2017, she said she had 6 miscarriages in 8 years while attempting to have her 3 children. Good Lord. She said the miscarriage was devastating and strain on her marriage, but apparently she's still married. Nancy Kerrigan had 3 kids and 6 miscarriages. Wow. That's crazy. Right-wing podcast, Marinda. What's going on there? Yeah, I remember that race too with Mary Decker. Yeah, she married the guy Slaney later on. But yeah, Zola Bud. Yeah, I remember that. That was wild. The taxi became more famous than Zola Bud herself. Well, I don't know about that. I know who Zola Bud is, but I didn't know that there was a taxi named after Zola Bud. That's the first I ever heard of that, so I don't know about that. Maybe in South Africa. But if anybody knows Zola Bud, I would love to interview her. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, it's sad when things get so competitive that sportsmanship goes out the window. Agreed. Natasha Posthumus, welcome to you. Guys, we will have refugees, Tion and Renee, in Florida. Florida. That's right. That'll be on in about 9.5 hours. Yep, that'll be on. So, okay. Alrighty. And then, yeah, so that's coming up. And then on Friday, we're also going to have more refugees. All right. Scientists say they revived an extinct wolf species. One of the world's most important nature groups is weighing a call for a moratorium allowing genetically engineered plants or animals such as canines edited to appear like extinct direwolves from being released into the wild. Advocates for the temporary ban, which is being considered a meeting, the International Union of Conservation Nature, worry about the dangers of engineering organisms upending nature. Interesting. In April, a firm unveiled a trio of gray wolf pups with 14 genes modified for thicker fur and stronger muscles to resemble direwolves, which went extinct more than 10,000 years ago. The company wants to do the same with other extinct animals, including the woolly mammoth and dodo. Though the wolves are kept in captivity with no plans for release, it makes people worry about de-extinction. I'd love to see the woolly mammoth come back. American chestnut tree, that's something they're working on too. It's a way to stop biodiversity loss, but some people don't like that. You know, the woolly mammoth is amazing stuff. I find the mammoth to be really cool. You know, they lasted much longer than we thought. They lasted into Wrangel Island just a few thousand years ago. Yep, the dwarf mammoth. A mammoth is any species of the extinct elephantid genus Mammutus. They lived from late Miocene period epoch, about 6.2 million years ago, to the Holocene until about 4,000 years ago, with mammoth species of various stages inhabiting Africa, Asia, Europe, and North America. Mammoths are distinguished from living elephants by their typically large, spirally twisted trunks, and in some later species, the development of numerous adaptations to living in cold environments, including a thick layer of fur. Mammoths and Asian elephants are more closely related to each other than they are to African elephants. Yep. The woolly mammoth evolved about 700,000 to 400,000 years ago in Siberia, with some surviving on Russia's Wrangel Island in the Arctic Ocean until as recently as 4,000 years ago. Still extant during the existence of early civilizations in ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. Yep. The woolly mammoth, man. Incredible. Wrangel Island. Very tiny island. Yep. It's the 92nd largest island in the world. The size of Crete, located in the Arctic Ocean. Yep. Extinction of the woolly mammoth and first human presence. This remote Arctic island is believed to have been the final place on Earth to support woolly mammoths as an isolated population until their extinction about 2000 BC, which makes the most recent surviving population known to science. Initially, it was assumed that this was a specific insular dwarf variant of the species originating from Siberia. However, after further evaluation, while their body size is relatively small, it falls within the size range known for woolly mammoths in mainland Siberia, and thus Wrangel Island mammoths are no longer considered to have been true dwarfs. Although the true dwarf mammoths and other dwarf elephants are known from other islands, some considerably smaller than Wrangel. Research published in 2017 suggests the mammoth population was experiencing a genetic meltdown in the DNA of its last animals, a difference when compared with examples about 40,000 years earlier when populations were plentiful. The research suggests the signature of a genomic meltdown in small populations consistent with nearly neutral genome evolution. It also suggests large numbers of detrimental variants collected in pre-extinction genomes, for a warning for continued efforts to protect current endangered species with small population sizes. However, this conclusion regarding the mammoth population was disputed in 2024 by someone who found that many of the most deleterious mutations had been purged from the genome and instead suggested extinction was likely due to a catastrophic event and that the woolly mammoths were already extinct for several centuries prior to the earliest human presence on the island. The earliest evidence of humans, and the only known pre-modern archaeological site on the island, is Chertoff Ulvrag on the southern coast, a short-term hunting camp which dates to about 3,600 years ago. At the camp, remains of birds, including the remains of at least 32 snow goose and 6 long-tailed duck, and one individual, each of common murray and snow bunting, as well as 2 seals, a walrus, and a polar bear have been found in association with stone tools. A legend prevalent among the Chukchi people of Siberia tells of Chief Krachai, who fled with his people across the ice to settle in the northern land. Though the story may be mythical, the existence of an island on a continent to the north was lent credence by the annual migration of reindeer across the ice, as well as the appearance of slate spirit points washed up on the Arctic shores. Anyway. Interesting. The woolly mammoth. Shame. So we didn't wipe them out. They were gone before we ever got there. We might have wiped them out elsewhere, but we didn't wipe them out in Wrangell Island. Revival efforts. The existence of preserved soft tissue remains in DNA of woolly mammoths has led to the idea that species could be resurrected by scientific means. Several methods have been proposed. Cloning would involve removal of the DNA containing nucleus of the egg cell of a female elephant and replacement with the nucleus of woolly mammoth tissue. The cell would then be stimulated in dividing and inserted back into a female elephant. The resulting calf would have the genes of the woolly mammoth, although its fetal environment would be different. Most intact mammoths have had little usable DNA because of their conditions of preservation. There's not enough to guide production of an embryo. The second method involves artificially inseminating an elephant egg with sperm cells from a frozen woolly mammoth carcass. Several projects are working on gradually replacing the genes of elephant cells with mammoth genes. Interesting. Well, the woolly mammoth, that would be something to see it come back. One eventful morning, woke up early to the neighbor's gazebo on fire. Good Lord. Shame. They also use CRISPR. Yeah, exactly. That's DNA sequencing. Ate sunflower, alfalfa, watercress, parsley, and carrot, and many other flowers. Intrigued me is that they say a sudden freeze that killed them fast revealed that they had spring daisies undigested in their stomach still. Yeah, that's what's crazy. Bison are making a good comeback in breeding programs. I hear they're ill-tempered. Yep. All right, guys, let's wrap it up here. Thank you for being here. Be sure to hit the like button if you don't mind. And I'll be back in about 9 hours, a little over 9.5 hours, for the live stream with the refugees living in Florida. I hope you tune in for that. Thursday, October 16th, 2025. Next week, bear in mind that my schedule is going to be different. I don't think I'll be able to do these streams late at night. I might do a half-hour. We'll see. Depends on how I feel. But I've got responsibilities at the Army War College, and during the day, my broadcast will be off my mobile phone, okay? You guys take care. Thanks for being here, and be sure to hit the like button. I don't want people to say, Colonel, where'd you go? We didn't see you. Well, I'll still be there. Just I'm not scheduling. I'm just doing my broadcast as quickly as I can, so when I'm on the road. Cheers, everybody. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.